My name is Ann Bell, and I'm Dickie's wife, and I want to welcome you all here today, and thank you for coming. A special thank you to Lieutenant Governor Bill Bowling for being here, and to Elwood Cash and Wright Sterry Wright staff for letting us be here. And I want to recognize Andrea Oakes from Staunton City Council, and Savannah Rutherford and Joseph Zachary from Dickie's office. Today it's my honor and privilege to get to introduce my husband. Most of you know that 2 years ago...
Dangerous. I didn't prove it either.
I told you he didn't prove it, but he did. Most of you know 2 years ago that Dickie and I did not even have this on our radar. In fact, when Dickie got the call to consider running for the House of Delegates, I had just been thinking that with our 2 children grown and mostly on their own, things were slowing down for us. When we got the call for Dickie to consider running for the Virginia House of Delegates, we did what we always do. We talked about it, we prayed about it, and then we prayed about it some more. The next morning when Dickie opened his devotional book, and the verse was Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you," well, you know what happened next. You just never know where the Lord's going to lead you if you're listening. You can go on the website and read Dickie's bio, and you can read about his 13.5 years on Staunton City Council, or his military service as a naval hospital corpsman, or his prior work as a special education teacher and coach. You can read that he's a deacon and co-teaches our Sunday school class at Memorial Baptist Church. You can also read about the bills, the wonderful work he's doing with virtual schools, American Sign Language, and all the issues, and you can even read his voting record. And hopefully you agree with those votes and positions. But what I wish to tell you today is that you should know he makes the decisions thoughtfully, prayerfully, and with the best interest of this city, this valley, and the Commonwealth of Virginia at heart. Next week, we'll celebrate our 30th wedding anniversary. And I knew Dickie for 7 years before we were married. So I feel qualified to give you the inside scoop. Are you nervous yet?
I've been nervous.
And that is that you could not find a better man anywhere on this earth to serve the 20th District. He's a Southern gentleman, a true statesman, a great father, wonderful husband, my husband, and Delegate Dickie Bell.
I thought you were reaching for my coach.
I know better than that. Thank you. I thought it was appropriate to have Ann do the introduction. She is my campaign manager / treasurer, my biggest supporter, my biggest fan, my best friend. And as she says all the time, the wind beneath my wings. She's also a tough campaigner. And she's a little bit of a pit bull who's saying mean things about me. So. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you coming. I know there are plenty of places you could be, things you could be doing on an afternoon like this. It means a lot to me that you're here. The past 2 years have been very exciting, very memorable for us. It's been kind of a whirlwind, actually. We sort of got into this thing, I won't say by accident because I don't think things happen by accident. But we have enjoyed it. We hit the ground running, and I think we've been running ever since. I'm sure that the announcement I'm about to make today will come as a surprise to nobody here. 2 years ago, I made a promise to you all and the people of the 20th District, and I promised you that if I was elected, I would go to Richmond and I would work hard for you. And I've done that. And I want to continue to do that. The district is going to look a little different this time. Redistricting has given me about 40% new people. That's either an opportunity or a challenge, depending on how you look at it. The only difference is your attitude about it. We consider it an opportunity. We're looking forward to meeting all those new people. We hate to lose the ones we had before. We had forged a lot of good relationships, and we hate to lose them, but we're looking forward to a campaign in the new district to bring in new people into our fold and getting support on a district that will now reach from the West Virginia line all the way to Central Virginia and Nelson County. My roots are deep in this community. I was born and raised in Staunton. I've been coming to Wright's since I was a teenager and doing things teenagers do on the back row back there. And, because it's a tradition, we chose to make
Don't put that in the paper.
we chose to make the announcement here just because I feel not only connected to this place, but to this entire community. I'm proud of what I've been able to accomplish in 2 years. It's, I didn't know what to expect. When I first got to the General Assembly, I asked myself a couple of times, what am I doing here? And when I left this year, after the last session, I was asking myself on the way home what some of those other people were doing there. But I figured out that I can do this job, and I'm proud of what we've accomplished. And education is a big thing for me. I'm a retired teacher and educator. We've been fortunate enough to assist the governor and the administration on some education reform. That the American Sign Language bill that we signed last week creates new accessibility for a whole new community of students. The virtual schools bill, if you saw the Richmond paper this morning, the headline about virtual education in Chesterfield County and Richmond City. That's a bill that I carried last year for the governor. Our budget put $75 million in K-12 education this year, $75 million more. So this administration, along with myself, are committed to quality education in Virginia. We're attempting to eliminate government waste. We know the importance of downsizing government. Most people will tell you government's too big, taxes are too high, and you need to do something about it. You hear that all the time, and that's what we're trying to do. We need to hold government responsible for spending the taxpayers' money. I've had legislation, oversight legislation to do that. In the Comprehensive Services Act, you've heard a lot about that lately. I had a bill passed this year that directs localities to spend the money the way you're supposed to, or you don't get the money. And those are the kind of things that we need to do. Those are tough decisions. They're hard calls. Somebody has to do it. And I think this administration, Lieutenant Governor, Governor McDonald, have indicated that they're up to the challenge of making tough calls, tough decisions, and I want to be right there with them. We've delivered a balanced budget. The last 2 years, we're required to by law. Last year, we used a few gimmicks to make that happen. This year, we didn't. We made some more tough decisions, and we gave you a structurally balanced budget with no tax increases and no new taxes. That's not an easy thing to do. The most important thing is that I support, and this is the reason I asked Lieutenant Governor Bowling to be here with me today. He's not only the Lieutenant Governor. Governor McDonald has given him the Chief Jobs Creation Officer position, which is a cabinet level position. His charge is to create jobs in Virginia, put people back to work. We're a lot better off than some places. Under the Lieutenant Governor, unemployment's dropped from 7.2% to 6.1%. We're doing something right. In fact, we're doing a lot of things right. And we need to continue to foster that entrepreneurial spirit in Virginia that makes small businesses like this success stories. This is a great example of what happens when government keeps taxes low, keeps regulations at a minimum, and gets out of the way and lets business take care of itself. The trend in Virginia is good. The recovery is coming. It's slow. We knew it would be slow, but we've had increased revenues 13 of the last 14 months. That's not a fluke anymore. That's a trend. We want to keep trending that way. We want to put the rest of these folks who aren't working back to work. There are still some problems, but I believe our party, this administration, and along with my colleagues in the General Assembly, have solutions to those problems, not just excuses for them. That's why I'm running. That's what it's all about for me. I'm a public servant. I've told most of you before, I may not be the best politician that ever came down the pipe. That's okay. But I'm a pretty good public servant, and I'll do what I can for the people here, for the people who've always supported me.